that, and I don't want to exclude them, okay? I know you were all excited about it. You were like, oh, cool. All right, so a couple more things. I know the anticipation is great, isn't it? All right. So I'm wearing a necklace that is made out of sterling silver, and it's also made out of lava, which I made, and it's just something amazing to me that Mother Nature produces something so dynamic as lava, which we could see as destructive, and yet I'm wearing something beautiful from the lava. And I made something else. No, we're not highlighting my jewelry today. This is a necklace I made, and it's made out of wood carved pieces and coral. It's nature, it's natural. But you see, when I'm out walking, it's these things that inspire me to create. Crystals, any of you that embrace crystals? Nature from the earth. Petrified wood from the earth. You know, I didn't understand people that get so excited about digging out. I have a dear friend who actually is an archaeologist, and the thrill of going out on digs and finding things and then researching how many years ago it came. So everyone has their connection, and I walk around literally like a kid with my face down. It's amazing I don't bump into things because I'm drawn to things. And that is my connection to nature. And it reminds me that God is ever present, and God is nature expressing itself. It's God says, I want to create all kinds of dynamics. Besides human beings, I create animals and birds and slithery things and rocks and stars. So I create all these different things. And so I just invite you this week to kind of tap in and ask yourself, where do I feel called or inspired by nature? And some of you might not have any connection to nature. But then I ask you, do you like to do something like camp? Because maybe you're being fed by having that experience out in nature. And it's just nice to pay attention. I take these pieces of wood. This came from Albuquerque, the Rio Grande Bosque. And I actually add little bits of paint to enhance what's already there. So it's all art to me. And when I moved here, I drove from Santa Fe, New Mexico. And what I had in the car were my plants. Oh, wow. And I have a large wood from the Bosque piece sculpture. So other people would be packing pertinent things to live with. I had a suitcase and artifacts, okay, because that needed to come with me first, and everything else because it was going to come later. But at least I had that because it was important for me to see it and to know it came and was safely surviving. So now that I've bent your ear and played show and tell, I'll leave these up later on if you want to take a peek, okay? All right. I recently, any of you like to walk on the beach and collect shells? This was recently gifted to me, and it's shells made into a beautiful piece of art. So again, I'm here to inspire you on that part of you that may have been dormant, or maybe you're just looking for a new medium to explore and play with, or just to rationalize that you're not cuckoo if you're outside collecting with little baggies all kinds of things that come from the earth. It's okay. So what I want to instill in us is that nature educates me. Yesterday the wind was blowing really, really hard. You know, and some of us focus on, oh my gosh, it's so windy. What I saw for me, it was the clearing. It was clearing of anything that needed to be released out into the ethers. Maybe some smog, pollutants, or just stagnation. And the first thing that came to me was my own stagnation in my mind. I stood out and I looked out the window and watched everything blowing. And I thought, oh, I needed that. It was like a reset for me because it allowed me to clear any clutter that I was holding in my own thought process. You know how we get stuck on something and we just keep churning and churning and churning? The wind is a demonstration of release to me. Just let go of anything that doesn't need to be there anymore. And so I just want you to be able to take in this sacredness of having a relationship with nature, because nature is, again, an expression of God showing up with all its vastness. Another thing that intrigues me about nature is I see palm trees growing in the desert with other trees and evergreen trees. Now, if you think about it logically, would it make sense that evergreen trees that you would think need a totally different climate are coexisting happily with the palm trees? And do they chat with each other and have little territorial arguments about, you don't belong here, this is my spot? No, they all grow and coexist with ease with one another. And I think about how that correlates to how we look at different people that maybe don't look like us, and we talk about them as the other. Do the plants talk to each other like the other because they don't belong in the same spot? No, they joyfully just grow together in harmony. Does the cacti look at the other tree and say, you're crowding my spot, this is where I belong? No. So it's just a wonderful metaphor for how do we live and coexist with one another just because we look or act or behave a little differently. And instead of calling each other as a form of being separate, nature's this beautiful teaching element that shows us we can get along. We just have to be willing to have understanding that we all coexist together. And that's why nature, I guess I focused much more on nature as the animals and the rocks and the slithering things and the trees as opposed to the stars. I'm not excluding the stars. Perhaps part of my practice will be to sit outside at night, look at the stars, and allow that energy to wash over me and see what message, what wisdom wants to be shared from that I've not explored. See, I'm going to say that because we go about our lives and we're very busy, and we don't look at different aspects of our spiritual practice. And it's all part of our spiritual practice. And so I think about this and I'm reminded there's an expression, don't push the river, meaning life flows, right? It just flows. And even when the river is flowing and there's obstacles in the way, it still flows. It doesn't stop and regroup and adjust itself for the things. It just keeps flowing. And what do we do as people? I, for one, complicate things. I overthink it. I'm blocking the flow, okay? I overthink it, I make it complicated. And here's what's interesting. If we make things hard, we're not in accord with creative spirit and the way it works. If we're overthinking things and making our life complicated, that was not what Spirit intended it to be. And I want everyone to know that I will use the words God, Great Spirit, Spirit. Please insert any word that works for you. If you like to say universal source energy or Allah or creative source or whatever that works for you, and you hear a word that might trigger you, you don't like that word, replace it with your word so that you can keep listening with an open mind as opposed to, they're saying that word again and I don't like it, okay? Because I know that a lot of people have energy with words. I do as well. So Carl Jung, for those of you who are not as familiar with him, I first became aware of him because he did a lot of dream work and interpretation of dreams, but he's actually a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst. And he said this: who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Now I'm going to flip that a little bit to be more open at the top in how we see it. And I'm going to speak it this way: who looks inside awakes to the truth of their being, which allows them to look outside and take action to manifest and build dreams and visions they hold sacred. So I say this because often we're so busy looking at everything around us that might feel like turmoil. And when we are in that space, we can't embrace other things that are around us. So if we're willing to look inside, fill ourselves up with the wisdom and the intuition within us, and then look outward to allow all the creative expressions to inspire us, we're more expansive. I know, it's something to ponder. And this is what I do, is I bring things to you to ponder when we're talking about relationships, because we have relationships with everything. I want to read to you, and it's a little lengthy, but it's really powerful. It's a story, and it's grandmother's creation story by a native woman. Her native name is Maskiki Esqui. Her American or English name is Sharon John Creek, a medicine woman. And this is a Cree legend about the importance of respecting animals. Okay, so I want you to listen with an open mind and an open heart about this. Long ago, the Creator looked out over the perfect world she had made. At the oceans, mountains, plains, deserts, lakes, rivers, and he was pleased. She looked upon the plants and the trees and was happy, and I'll just change it now to the pronoun of they. He was happy with what they saw. Still, they felt there was something missing. There was no movement, nothing to enjoy the beauty that they had created. So they created animals, birds, creepers, and fish. They made them all sizes, forms, colors, and shapes. As they watched them roam over Mother Earth, enjoying the beauty of their creations, they were pleased with all they had done. Life continued on Mother Earth in perfect balance and harmony. Many moons passed, and one day the animals, birds, creepers, and fish called out to their Creator. We thank you for all you have given us, for all the beauty that surrounds us. However, everything is so plentiful that we have nothing to do but wander here and there, no purpose in our lives. Creator gave great thought to their request. After a while, they showed themselves again with creation. They told them they would give them a weaker creature to take care of. Want to guess who the weaker creature is? Yeah. To take care of, to look after, and to teach. This creature would not be so perfect as the other creations. It would come upon Mother Earth weak, small, and knowing nothing. So the Creator made man and woman, and all their other creations were happy Now they truly had purpose in life. To care for these helpless humans, to teach them how to find food and shelter, and to show them the importance of herbal healing. The humans, under the care of all, multiplied and grew to be many. Still, the animals, birds, creepers, and fish took care of them. As the humans became stronger, they demanded more from their brothers and sisters. Finally, there came a day when the human demanded more food than needed. Interesting, more food than needed. And the animal would not grant him the request. The man, in great anger, picked up a rock, threw it, and killed the animal. From the dead animal, the man discovered that he could use the meat to feed himself, the skin to cover his body. Bones and claws and teeth would be his trophies to show other humans how smart he was as opposed to the animals. When he showed these things to other humans, in their greed to have all that he had, they started killing all the animal brothers around them. The Creator watched them. Humans, animals, birds, creepers, and fish. Finally, they called the remaining animals, birds, creepers, and fish to them. Creator told them that they decided to take them all to their spirit home and leave the humans to rule over Mother Earth for a period of time until they recognized the error of their ways. The animals, knowing that humans could not survive without them, begged Creator to take pity on their human brothers and sisters, because the animals showed compassion and pity for the weaker ones, less able to take care of themselves. Creator listened to their pleas. Because you have been good and followed my ways, I will grant you your prayer. To protect you, I will no longer allow you to speak to the humans or guide them or protect them. I will create spirit animals to represent each of you. And the spirit animal, I will grant you one gift that you may use. If a human lives in good and kind ways and follows my path, they will ask me for one of my spirit animals to guide and to keep them on their path. The spirit animal will only come to humans who have a good heart. And so today we seek our spirit keepers to learn how to be kind and wise as our animal brothers. In seeking them, we wish to learn how to please Creator, as animals did before us. And this was originally written by Victoria Whitewolf. Now, I read that to you all because so much of us are wasteful and have no respect for our other creatures on earth. And if we take time, if you give it great thought, I often believe that animals in all format, because they're primal and just go with that guidance, are far more intelligent than we are because they don't overthink or overcomplicate. And so when you find yourself periodically being wasteful, not that you, of course, would be wasteful, it allows you to tap into how are we showing respect for Mother Earth? How are we as citizens of Mother Earth showing respect, showing gratitude? We're being taken care of in all ways and in all forms. And so to have a respectful relationship with all these other entities that are part of nature, part of God expressing itself in this way, I think it's important just to reflect on where do we need to be more mindful, more respectful. And so there is a quote from this little book, which I've hidden. It's actually from What Religious Science Teaches, which was written in 1974, and I have the book, so if you wanted to look at it, it's on page 4, paragraph 2. The central principle of religious science teaching, or what Centers for Spiritual Living are, is this eminence of God. All phenomena appearing in the natural world are manifestations of the spiritual world, the world of cause and effect. We are part of the universe. We are in this universe. But perhaps more important than both of those is that the universe is in us. Amen. And this was written by Neil deGrasse Tyson, an American anthropologist. And so I want to just close with this. All that matters, matters. How you honor and celebrate the divine in all parts are all parts of nature. And in this week, I ask you to take a look at areas that you might be willing to explore to have a different connection with, whether it's earth-based aspects of nature or the stars and the sky as part of our whole and the relationship we have with all of it, knowing it's God expressing itself with much delight. Amen. So let's take a moment just to go inward, just to sit in the presence of knowing nature is part of us and we are part of it. We are all interconnected to things that are seen and unseen, for we know that source energy, spirit, Great Spirit, is always moving and being within us and all around us. And that there is no place that we are separate from all of that. We just get to rethink our relationship to how we connect to all of it. And how valuable and important it is to have a connection with all of it. For it serves us to tap into all possibilities of who and whom we are. The sons and daughters, the thems and those of the Most High. And as we be in that space and we go out into the world, we find new ways to have connection. Perhaps it's sitting outside and feeling the wind. Perhaps it's listening to birds speaking to other birds and being curious of what they might be saying. Or bees and their connection to flowers and how that all interacts together. Knowing, again, we are all connected. And what works for me can work for you and vice versa. And that we remind ourselves that as the trees can collaborate and cooperate with one another, we as human beings can do the same. We can do the same without making it difficult, because all we need is greater understanding and greater willingness to be part of all the pieces that make us whole and complete. And as we go out into the world, I know that as I've spoken these words and released them to the law that only says yes, we're here to make Mother Earth a better place by whom we are and how we be. Mindful, respectful, compassionate, heartfelt, with not only one another, but all creatures, as we are together one. If any of this anchors and resonates with you, please say with me, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. The little book that I said I couldn't find, in case you did want to actually check that quote for me. Ah, yes. It is that wonderful time